I'm Larry Menti. This week on Jersey Matters, we'll talk to the new Secretary of State who is working hard to make our election process in New Jersey as safe as it can be. Also, how safe are transit bridges in New Jersey? That answer is difficult to get. We'll talk to a reporter who is working on it. And the call for a constitutional convention comes to New Jersey. But we begin with our interview with Tahesha Way, who is the new Secretary of State for New Jersey, and part of her job is to make the election process safe. The Secretary of State position and the Department of State, I think that the title and the department has been a little bit muddled over the last 8 years because the Lieutenant Governor also served as the Secretary of State. And I'd love to start with just what does the Department of State do? What are you tasked with?
The Secretary of State is a constitutional officer. I start with tourism is one of my portfolios. There's the Business Action Center. There's also the call for volunteerism of our residents in that department. Then we have civic engagement, arts, culture, historical commissions, and cultural commissions. And most importantly, we have elections under this portfolio.
Let's start with what you started off with, okay. Tourism.
Yes.
We'll start with tourism. You entered the office with some good news. The state set a record when it came to tourism.
Yes, indeed. Very good news. $45 billion of an economic impact, 101 estimated million visitors in our state. And we want to build upon this success every single year. We not only have the shore that we're known for, but there are other assets and attractions that our visitors and even our residents can enjoy. We have the arts, we have the entertainment, the sports, we have skiing that some don't even know about. And then there are also wineries. So there's so many good things that are going on that visitors, international visitors, our residents can enjoy.
Wonderful. I want to move on to something else. The first thing you mentioned was tourism. The last thing you mentioned was the elections. I know that when you had your confirmation hearing, you got a line of questioning about those who are not in the country legally voting. So that leads to two questions. First of all, is there any proof that that's happening in New Jersey? And secondly, if it is happening, and I know your answer to that question was the law is the law, and I'm going to uphold the law, should we be doing more to prevent that from happening?
You actually had spoken with Professor Meredith at University of Penn, in which he had indicated that the voter fraud is very minuscule, 0.02% in occurring. I think that everyone in an agency is tasked with ensuring that whomever applies for a service such as to register, that agency is charged with ensuring that that person qualifies and is eligible.
So enough is already being done. There's enough roadblocks to prevent somebody that shouldn't be voting from catching them before they get to the voting place.
I would say so, because again, I would say, such as in my division of elections, we are tasked to ensure that those who are properly on the rolls, the registration rolls, are the appropriate and eligible voters.
Would you be in favor of, down the line, of online voting? Of people that could vote in an election online rather than go to a polling place, to open up accessibility?
Right now, my office is tasked to focus upon making certain that there's the best practices involved with rolling out automatic voter registration.
Okay.
In addition to all of the elections and the voting piece, right now, I am tasked more so in terms of the security, the cybersecurity focus of all of the elections, making sure that not only our primary come, I believe it's June the 5th, but our general come November the 6th will be an efficient, secured process.
That's fascinating that you are tasked with cybersecurity. And so when you're looking at threats to the election process, are we talking about Russia?
We're talking about, because the threat is real, we're talking about all international threats and domestic threats. And I take this very seriously. I know that the governor's administration takes it very seriously. I've actually sat in on classified briefings with the United States Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. I routinely sit in on classified and unclassified briefings with New Jersey's Department of Homeland Security and Preparedness, Director Maples' staff, because we want to make sure that New Jersey's systems are shored up. There's routine scans that go on daily. Then there are spear phishing exercises that go on through the systems to make sure that everything is secure as possible.
And just to wrap it up, because we have to go to break, but just to wrap it up, are you confident at this point that our election is secure from outside forces?
The one thing I know, I have partners with Homeland Security, with the state's Homeland Security, and we discuss and continue to develop, strategize, and make certain that all of our systems are enhanced and secured. The voter registration system just recently underwent enhancements, and at the same time, the Department of Homeland Security performed a risk and vulnerability test. So everything is being done to ensure that there's protection of our systems in terms of the vote.
Great, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry,
Appreciate
for having
meeting
me.
you.
Thank you.
Secretary of State Tahesha Way. Jersey Matters continues right after this. Still to come on Jersey Matters, how safe are train bridges in this state? We'll talk to the reporter who is trying to get that answer. That's when Jersey Matters continues.